Hey guys, it's me, Beth's Golden. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Sorry. That's what happens when you play with your phone and you try to do a live. I'm like, oh, maybe it'll rotate the camera. I didn't mean for it to flip the screen. Alright, so today I wanted to show you how to make a simple card with just some simple stamping techniques and cardstock. I am going to be using these. I just got them. I'm on the Joy Claire design team, and I absolutely love the stamps. So they let us pick out a couple sets. So I picked out the Ugly Sweater Background Builder. I love this. I think it's hilarious. And then I also picked out this, the Christmas Poinsettia one. I really like this one because I thought it would give a kind of a fun 1970s vibe to a card. The other ones that I picked out, and I didn't mean to do this. It's like a total mistake, but I love it. And I'm not going to play with it on this one, but I'll play with it later, is this one. And it is the Christmas Coffee, but it looks like the ugly background right over here. So I'm like, oh my God, that worked out so good. So anyway, today I want to play with this. So what you're going to need to do this is you're going to need a couple pieces of cardstock and a card base. And I am using some vellum. I am using, I got all of my cardstock from Cut Cardstock, which is a really great resource, and they have really great prices. And the colors that I'm using are this green and this red. So let's just dive in. We're going to build a poinsettia just using some stamping techniques. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to take your red cardstock. You're going to want some embossing pad as well as some embossing powder. I'm going to be utilizing mine in gold. And you're going to basically stamp out 4 of these poinsettias from the larger to the smaller. So boom, 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 boom. And what I like to do is I like to utilize all sides of my block. And what that allows me to do is it keeps all the stamps together so I don't lose them. I can hold them off until I'm ready to clean them all, and I can just stamp like crazy. So it's really awesome. So I'm just going to stamp this little one to show you guys kind of how to emboss and do this technique. And I'll show you why I've decided to emboss. Not only do I want that gold color, but I also want to make it easier to cut. And one of the things you want to do before you emboss is you want to take a little one of these pouches. You can get them pretty much anywhere. And it has powder in it. So this makes it so that your embossed image won't have moisture around it. And it will emboss more crisp because there's no moisture for that embossing powder to cling to. And then you're just going to take that embossing powder and you're going to just tap it off like so. And as you can tell, I got it right where I need it to be. And then you're going to take your heat gun and you're going to start to set it from the underside. I like to do it on the underside because it will not blow everywhere, which is super important. So I just take and I just do it on the underside. And as you can see, it's already starting to melt down. So I didn't get any blow off, and then I can go ahead and just make sure. And there we go. So set this aside. I'm going to do the same basic technique with these little leaves, which could be mistletoe, you know, because they do have the little cute berries that go in it, but I'm going to use it as leaves. And you guys, this is by Joy Claire. I do have the links provided in my profile if you're interested. So for this one, I'm actually going to use some VersaFine Claire, and I'm just going to use, this is a embossing powder in Midnight for my stash. And it's just the same thing. I really like this VersaFine ink for this because it gives a nice crisp image and it does emboss really nicely. And since I'm going to be embossing with this black and it's kind of glittery, I definitely wanted a black ink down. If you notice, I do use a foam pad when I stamp with the clear stamps, and that is because you need some cushioning on these, because you don't have cushioning, so you have to get some cushioning on your stamped image to have a crispness to it. You can use that funny foam that kids have. That totally works fine. Again, you guys, this is with cut cardstock. The cardstock that I'm using, I highly recommend this because it's really great selection, and also great prices, great shipping. I'm really impressed with them. All right, again, I'm going to go on the underside. And then once you get it almost all, you know, the first layer stuck, you can go ahead. Hello, Cut Cardstock is here, guys. Head over to their website and check out their stuff, because this is, like I said, this is what I'm using to create this card, is their paper. All right, so you can go on top after you have done that first layer on the underside, just to get it to hold, and boom, there you go. So now I have really pretty sparkles, and I wanted to emboss for two reasons. First of all, I wanted it to be gold. Secondly, I wanted it to pop. Okay, so for three reasons. And the last is because I want to fussy cut this out, and by embossing it, it allows your edges to raise, and so it's super easy to cut out if you just follow along those edges. You'll get a nice cut on this, and it cuts beautifully. This is a flat cardstock. I believe it's by Coordinations. All right, and so you're going to go ahead and cut out, do this technique for 4 or 5 of those poinsettias tips, and then we're going to build our card. So for our card, I am using a lighter green cardstock and red cardstock, and then there is this amazing vellum that I'm going to use layering just to give that ugly, you know, Christmas sweater background that is so fun and so iconic of, I think, of the 70s and 80s. So that's kind of the vibe that I'm going with for this. All right, so once, I'm not going to cut all of these out. I've already done most of this off screen, but I just wanted to show you how simple that is to cut with that cardstock. All right, hello guys, if you're coming on saying hi and I'm missing it, I'm so sorry, but I will catch it when I'm done here. Okay, so you're just going to take a piece of a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 11. You're going to cut it down the middle, and then you're going to score it across, and this will give you a perfect card base, so nothing goes to waste. I think you should always stamp your image on the back. This is with the Rockin' Red Catherine Pooler ink. For the next set that I'm doing, I'm using Catherine Pooler inks. And this is Rockin' Red, and then the sentiment on the inside is that grass skirt. And again, everything is from this set by Joy Claire, and it is the Christmas poinsettia set. These you can actually have custom on return address, and then also your logos made through Joy Claire. So I thought that was pretty cool. I've had that made years ago, and it's become my little signature. So what I did was I built a background. I built some pattern paper with this right here, and this is what I did. Was I took that light green cardstock from Cut Cardstock, and I just took and did it in the Rockin' Red, and then I did this piece and this piece, which is this, and this in grass skirts, trimmed it down to my proper size, inked the edges in black. Then this one is sized at 2.5 by 5.5. This is a piece of vellum. I love using vellum on your cards. It softens it up. It gives it some more texture. It's so pretty. And so this is 2.75 inches by 5.5, and that's going to layer. And then finally, I took that red again. I actually used archival ink in black soot around the edges of that. And this is 3 inches by 5.5. So I'm going to layer that onto the card, and then I'm going to stamp. Actually, I'm going to stamp my Noel first because I want my this to go right below it. And sometimes when you're stamping with clear blocks, you don't always get that perfectly even spot. So I'm putting this on the back. Again, I'm taking this out, and I think I'm going to go ahead and emboss this in gold. So I'm just going to take and run my powder over. I'm going to use my clear mark on this, my clear embossing powder, pad on this, and that's by Nuvo. I can't see very well, so I do need to just take off that for a moment, and then I am going to, right about there, just put that down, and then take my embossing powder once again, and hit this over here, like so. Tap it off. No residue of that embossing powder because I did powder that surface first, which is crucial. And then again, I'm going to heat set it from the bottom. And you can start to see it go shiny. And once it starts to go shiny, you can flip it over because that base has already started to melt and you're not going to get that blow off. All right, so the base started to melt on that, on the underside, so you can flip it over from there and do the rest of your heat setting on the top. And from here, I am just going to layer on directly under that Noel my ugly Christmas sweater background. And I'm just using art glitter glue because it's fast and it's not as bulky as my tape runner, but you could really use any adhesive that you want. Okay, and then that looks pretty straight. And then for the vellum, I'm just gonna be real careful, make sure that I don't have any of my glue showing through on the vellum. Gina K really is the best glue for vellum. It holds lovely and it dries almost perfectly clear, but since this is going to be covered, it doesn't really matter. All right, and then the fun one, which is the ugly sweater. Oh my God, look what I did. I did that on the inside of my card. That's okay. Do you know what you do when you mess up like that? All you do is you just take your card base and you are just going to cut it down the middle, like so. And I will put it on another card base. So all is not lost. I can just put it on the front of this, line it up, and then I'm good to go. Because I messed that up. And I can even take this, cut it down, put it on a mat, and then make the inside look even more spectacular. So it is no big deal. All right, so from here, I'm going to take this one and lay this on top. And also, it's really smart to always, always, always do your layering on an open card base. All right, so there is that. And then these are the little pieces that I have already cut out with my red cut cardstock, and I'm just going to layer them together along with my leaf, and I'm going to put a little bit of adhesiveness on the leaf and just pop it down like so. And then we are just going to start to layer this on this card with our poinsettia. And it's okay if that glue shows through because it will dry clear. Plus, I'm offsetting all of these images, so it'll kind of mask even from there. And I'm just building a poinsettia at this point. And this one. Now you could stop or right here, or you could put a little, you know, a little stickle spot in the middle, a little dewdrop, whatever you want. I am going to put a little gem that I have over here in my stash. And I really like these. These are my favorite because they're super sparkly. Look how pretty those are. I don't know if you can tell how sparkly they are, but I love them. So I'm just going to take, what you can do also is you can flip those little edges up a little bit on the card. Like I am just going around carefully on the petals and just flipping it up. You could layer this with some adhesive foam in the center. That would totally work as well, just to give some more dimension. But I want to put this through the mail, and sometimes if it gets really big, like thick, I have to put more stamps on, and I don't always want to do that. So, you know, you just want to kind of pop up those edges a little bit just to give it a little bit more personality. So for this one, I am going to find a little gem, and there's different sizes in here, which I totally appreciate. I actually really like that tiny size, so I'm going to pop that on. Just going to use a little dollop of glue. It will start to bubble out because this is so small, but like I said, it dries clear, so I am okay with that. And then there you go. You have a simple, really fun nod to the 1970s, 1980s Christmas vibe. And it's all made with cardstock and just stamping. So how fun is that? Super easy, right? And that looks so cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live today. I am going to upload it on YouTube as well if it saves it. Sometimes it doesn't always save. I got to figure out that. Oh, and then real quick, I have to fix this. Remember how I cut that off? So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this card base right here, and I'm just going to line it up. All right. Just going to line it up like so. Get those edges. I do like to use glue with something like this so you can smoosh it around. And then for the inside of the card, I'm just going to actually cut this down with my trimmer, and I'll mat it. And it'll look like it's totally intentional. Nobody will know that I messed up. I'm all about trying to save your product. Now, Cut Cardstock has the good white cardstock, which is the Nina, so, and at a good price. So you guys have got to go head over there because it is fantastic. All right, so this is down to that. So I need to do 1.75 by about 2.25. Let's see if it'll fit on this little piece of paper. And it will. So let's do about 2.25. And we'll do this one at 1. Oh, it's already there. So that works. And then we will glue that. But first, let me take and do my signature on the back. So again, all the stamps are from Joy Claire, including my logo. You can have a logo made up, anything you want. They will do it for you. It's pretty freaking fantastic. So there's that. And then let's go ahead, flip it over and place this on the inside. Again, I am working with my card open just because I want to get a better placement. All right, and if I was really thinking, I would have inked the edges on that, but that's okay. I can go ahead with my archival ink right now, take some black archival ink and just ink those edges real quick. You see how I'm inking literally both sets of edges just by the way that I'm holding the ink pad. So it's super easy to do if you screw up. It is no worries. And then we are going to just place this right here with a spot for your signature. You could even take and add on, you know, like some of these little sentiments as well on the inside. I think I'll do that. I think I will just add on. This is totally unplanned, you guys. I was not planning on doing all this. I was just going to make the card and be done. But since I screwed up, I'm going to just go with it a little bit. All right, so I'm going to just use this green and I'm going to pop that on right there. And then I will pop it on right there as well. And then there we go. So cute little card ready to go in the mail for someone special. And I got green on it. Oh, will. Be careful. I'm a sloppy crafter, y'all. Sloppy crafter. All right. I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed this. And if you want to see it again, I'm going to try to upload it to YouTube probably next Tuesday. But that's how you can make a card with cardstock and just stamping. Super easy. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and I will get back to you guys. Have a good one. Bye.